Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video. And the Dragonflight talents for Rogue have been released, and these talents are some of the most insane, bonkers, and powerful that have yet to be seen. It's starting to draw into question for myself as to whether or not maybe somebody internally is playing Rogue with the level of power that some of these talents are going to be iterating on. We get a little bit of a nostalgia trip for some abilities, as well as some just very powerful effects continuing forward into the next expansion for Rogue. Some of the most notable ones that we've seen on this round of update is that all rogues will be able to access Garrote, so Subtlety Rogues with insane lockdown potentially, with the Garrote silence build. And really, Subtlety Rogue is what kind of kept my attention with all of these talents when I was looking at them. Some other ones was that Shadow Dance is now available for all rogue specs. Cold Blood is coming back, so the 100% chance crit for your next attack was an insane amount of burst damage in previous expansions. We're going to be seeing Echoing Reprimand carrying forward into the next expansion, which is the Shadowlands Covenant ability for Kyrian. And the nostalgia trip is Thistletea. Restore 100 energy, max 3 charges, 1 minute cooldown. This was the busted consumable in Classic WoW that rogues could use to basically just go 1v1 into 1v1 into 1v1. And you're going to really see the power of this Thistletea, I think specifically with Subtlety and some of the other things that it is getting. And we are also seeing that Shadow Dance is going to be available to all rogue specializations. So all rogues might be doing kind of the Neelio Pelios, garroting the whole team, cheap shotting the whole team type of deal. With Shadow Dance being available to all rogues, this still means that Subtlety will be able to talent into additional Shadow Dance charges with 1 additional charge on their talents, but that's kind of initially what jumped off the page for me. We're seeing Sepsis carrying forward for Assassination, which was the big deal for PvP at least, with massive poison damage moving forward into the next expansion. But other than that, I don't think I saw anything specifically with Assassination. Definitely not kind of like the most intriguing spec for these talents moving forward in terms of their power, but Outlaw Rogue having access to Shadow Dance to peel the whole team, and one of their talents allowing them to reduce the cooldowns of their nearby allies, which is what I'm currently looking for. We all know it as the Restless Blades, which reduces cooldowns for yourself. It will also be applying to your allies. We're seeing the Honor talents getting baked into baseline talents for reducing the cooldown of Evasion and Feint, which is going to be extremely powerful for Outlaw Rogue. We're seeing Dreadblades returning for Outlaw Rogue. Like Outlaw Rogue and Subtlety Rogue on these ones are definitely the big winners. I'm still specifically looking for it. Restless Crew. Restless Blades also affects members within 40 yards, reducing the remaining cooldown of one of their offensive abilities by 0.2 seconds for every combo point spent. That really jumped off the page to me. So if you're kind of this insanely tanky, unkillable, immortal brawler, reducing the cooldowns of your allies, it's looking like a good time to be RMP, because those priest talents also for like Disc and Holy looked really powerful. And we kind of haven't even got to the Pestle of Resistance of these talents, because I really think that Subtlety Rogue was the big winner. The first one is being able to get 2 charges of Shadow Dance, and plus Thistletea. So you're going to be able to kind of send a Shadow Dance with full energy, and then send a Shadow Dance resetting your energy with Thistletea, and you're just going to completely overrun your opponents with burst damage. There was some other talents. So here's the second Shadow Dance charge that we can see listed. And the other one was when you vanish, you're going to be getting a shield for 30% of your health. So while you're doing this insane one-shot damage, you're going to also be getting a massive absorption effect, and you're going to be getting, I think, 2 charges of vanish. Symbols of Death, the most important cooldown for the Subtlety Rogue. You're going to have an effect that is going to reduce the cooldown of all of your abilities by 20 seconds. That's carrying forward only for Subtlety. That's something that we see Outlaw Rogue using right now quite a bit, but it's carrying forward for Subtlety. So you're going to get like 20 seconds off the cooldown of your blind. I think you can get 40 because you'll have 2 charges of Vanish. Without a trace, Vanish has an additional charge. 2 charges of Vanish, 2 charges of Shadow Dance. So when you vanish, you're going to reduce the cooldown of everything. This means that you're going to be getting your blind on a significantly lower cooldown. You're going to be reducing those symbols of death to an extraordinary degree. So you're going to kind of just send an attack on somebody, maybe 100 them. Thistletea to full energy. Vanish, get a big 30% shield. We can see that here. Vanish, reset all of those cooldowns, get a big opener on somebody else, just knock them out of the park. And then you could vanish again to reset that yet again and try and send a big bang onto somebody. And we can see that Flagellation is also going to be carrying forward into Dragonflight, which is the big one-hit wonder. And it looks like you might be able to get Flagellation plus the Kyrian Covenant ability. So like I'm kind of just sitting here like my whole brain is just like exploding when I'm looking at these. Here's the Vanish, reduces the cooldown of other rogue abilities by 10 to 20 seconds. And we saw earlier 2 charges of Vanish, and Vanish is also going to give you a 30% shield, whole bunch of modifiers that just buff the damage of Eviscerate, and Cold Blood to give it a 100% crit chance, and then reset Cold Blood, reset all that stuff, and then just send it again. So like right now, just like jumping off the page, this was the most insane talents that I have seen so far for Dragonflight, with Priest maybe being a close second. The Hunter talents were also released, so if you're curious in that type of content, then make sure you hit the subscribe button on the channel so that you can stay up to date, in the know, in the now with everything World of Warcraft and never miss a beat. I'm also very close to 40,000 subscribers right now, so it would be greatly appreciated for you to hit that subscribe button and help me out in reaching that goal. And again, the main point of this channel is to be a resource to enhance and improve your experience and gameplay with World of Warcraft, and so you know what sneaky stuff might be coming out of the shadows here from things like the Subtlety Rogue. But right now, these are like jumping off the page with powerful effects, and I'm kind of almost a bit disappointed now with some of the other effects, some for Hunter specifically, but there's one maybe for Hunter that we should talk about because it's going to have insane synergies with this powerful build of Subtlety Rogue, and that is the Marksmanship Hunter. So let's just scroll up and take a quick look at this one thing for Marksmanship Hunter. This was the one thing that really stood out to me for them. It's at the bottom of their talent trees for MM, and it's something that I'm surprised to see here. It's basically the legendary effect, but it's super powered up from the Sylvanas bow, and that is the Wailing Arrow. Fire an enchanted arrow dealing shadow damage to your target and additional shadow damage to all enemies within 8 yards of your target. Targets struck by Wailing Arrow are also silenced for 5 seconds. So Hunter had a silence through the honor talents. Maybe you can have 2 silences, but 5-second duration silence is a very long one. So getting this silence onto a target with a Subtlety Rogue, sending this go, and then resetting with Thistlety, bouncing over to another target, maybe sending another kind of blast attack over at them, could be massive devastation. The rogue ones are just completely, but at least for Subtlety. I feel like Assassination, I mean, you're probably still gonna have the Sepsis one shot, it looks like, with the talents that they decided to carry forward, but Outlaw is gonna get like an enhancement on its already insanely powerful existing kit, and then Subtlety is just like, it's not very subtle how powerful Subtlety could be, having read through these talents. So if you're a rogue player, you're definitely excited for this right now. But maybe not. Maybe this also means that the warning lights are going to be out for you more initially than other classes. So not always the best to be the most notably powerful in these earlier iterations of things, because things are subject to change. But right now, definitely the craziest talents I have seen so far. So once again, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this talent update, and it's got you maybe excited if you're a rogue, and maybe a little bit terrified if you're not, or you don't have a rogue friend to pick up for the next expansion. But other than that, I will see you in the next video.